Hello and welcome to the February 18th, 2010 video version of Invested Central's Chart of the Day. I'm Tom Boley, Invested Central's Chief Market Strategist, and it's my pleasure to provide you with today's Chart of the Day. This Chart of the Day is brought to you by StockCharts.com, simply the web's best financial charts. Today we are simply taking a look at an ETF as opposed to an individual chart. Really what we're looking at here is just the pattern that's developing. We haven't seen a breakout yet, so it's really probably too early to do anything with it, but this is one of the few charts out there, one of the few ETFs that's actually looking bullish. If you look at the action here over the last couple of weeks to a couple of months, few months. This is the XHB, which is the S&P Home Builders Index ETF. But if you go back and take a look, we are just about at a multi-month high on the XHB, even though we've seen the major indices pulling back to the downside and actually breaking down recently. So if you're looking for some strength within the market, certainly we've been seeing it here in the home builders group. Now you take a look, we got back up to about 1640, 1650 back in mid-September. We got up close to that level in the beginning of January. Remember, that's where the market topped. That's when we saw the Dow, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, Russell 2000, all for the most part topped in that second week of January. But since then, we've seen the major indices drop, lose their 50-day moving average, lose their, prior to that, they actually lost their 20-day moving average, and we've seen the 20-day moving average cross beneath the 50-day moving average on most of the major indices. But on the XHB, you can see that we're actually on Wednesday's high, we hit 1634, challenging the highs that were hit back in mid-September and again in that second week of January. So even though the overall market has been pulling back, not looking great, from a macro view, this is one group that has performed very well and continues to perform fairly bullishly within this ascending triangle pattern. Now, the key traits of an ascending triangle: number one, you need a prior trend, because an ascending triangle is a continuation pattern. Well, we do have a prior trend in play where we, from back in early July, went straight up really for a couple of months, ran from about 1050 on the XHB to 1650. So that was about a 60% move in the XHB prior to this ascending triangle forming. So that's number one. The other thing that you look for in ascending triangle are equal highs. You can see from back in the mid-September period, again early January, and then again yesterday, Wednesday, the XHB has put in fairly close to equal highs. And then the other part of the ascending triangle equation is the increasing lows, and you can see that that is evident as well. So right now the XHB is just kind of stuck in this triangle pattern. A breakout above 1650 with heavy volume would not only bode well for the home builders, but that might give the market what it's looking for it to begin to resume that uptrend, that prior uptrend that we've seen in the market. But short of that, if we fail to get through the 1650 level, it wouldn't be a big surprise to see the XHB at least pull back down one more time to test this lower uptrend line, which is the trend line support that it's been receiving during this ascending triangle. So let's keep an eye on the XHB. Let's see which way this breaks. It could give us some clues about the overall market. But in the meantime, really just kind of keep an eye and see whether or not we break to the upside, whether we retest the lower end, and certainly what we really want to be careful about is we don't break this to the downside. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation today. Be sure to check out our chart of the day every day at InvestedCentral.com. While you're there, be sure to sign up for our free weekly Market Pulse newsletter and have the chart of the day emailed directly to you. Happy trading.